I am Cam Rogers. Hit me up on Twitter at Mr. Rogers99. I'm going to get to my projected big board for the San Francisco 49ers. But first, a word from our friends at Mizzen and Main. Visit in Maine. Head on to comfortable.af to learn more. All right, so here is a look at the projected big board. And we'll start things off with Quentin Nelson here at number 1. And obviously, right, need on the interior at guard. Yes, they signed Weston Richburg. He'll be fantastic there at center. You got Lincoln Tomlinson at guard as well. Maybe somebody to watch out for. And Garnett, too, who looks like he's headed in the right direction. But Quentin Nelson could arguably be the best overall prospect in this draft. If you guys are loyal 49ers Report watchers, you know I am in love with big boy football. I am in love with Quentin Nelson, a premier guard, no weaknesses on this kid, and he can do it all, especially in zone blocking, folks. He may be a little heavier than the past guards drafted in a Kyle Shanahan offense, but that's okay. He's got really good quickness, a really special player, so he's there at number 1. Let's go to number 2 here, Bradley Chubb. So we're kind of in the dream scenario portion of my big board with Nelson and Chubb. Solomon Thomas, of course, needs to improve his pass rushing ability. They have Eric Armstead as well, who's decent, ranked 44th among edge rushers according to Pro Football Focus a year ago. Should be interesting to see how Jeremiah Atachu performs as well, recent signee. But Bradley Chubb, the best defender in the draft, in my opinion. Obviously, the top edge rusher. Really a fantastic talent, a true disruptor. If the 49ers get him, that would be ultimate upset special. Like, there is no way this guy falls at number 9 unless there is absolute chaos atop the board. Talking about the Cardinals moving up, the Bills moving up for a quarterback as well, where somebody is going to fall here. And it could be Bradley Chubb. It could also be this guy, Saquon Barkley, checking in at number 3 on the list. 49ers fans, I get it. Big time investment into Jerick McKinnon. Understood. Joe Williams, young player, jury's still out on him. Understood. Matt Breida showed flashes last year as well. Understood. But this is Saquon Barkley we're talking about. One of the more dynamic players in the entire NFL draft. And as you see on your screen, yes, the 49ers are fine at running back. But I put him here because let's say he falls to number 9. Somebody calls John Lynch and offers a pot of gold to move up there and grab Saquon. Because some teams out there probably don't even expect Barkley to drop that far. But if they see that happen, they'll come calling John Lynch. All right, the other scenario is Lynch does draft Barkley at number 9 and eventually uses him as some sort of trade bait. Now, this is like Madden NFL kind of talk here, but it's certainly worthy of discussion. All right, so Saquon's there at number 3. Let's go to number 4 as we head into the realistic portion of my big board, Roquan Smtih. Now, I've talked about him a lot. Won the Butkus Award a year ago as the nation's best linebacker out of Georgia. Would be a really nice option to fill in or at least play alongside Reuben Foster there. Really good sideline to sideline, great speed, needs to bulk up a little bit, but if he can hit the weight room a little more, he'll be a fine linebacker for San Francisco. Really intelligent kid at that as well. So he is the safer alternative to, say, Tremaine Edmunds, who checks in here at number 5. He's got the high ceiling. He's a little bit raw, still 19, turns 20 next month, but he's an incredible athlete. Really wowed at the NFL Combine with some really impressive numbers and really some impressive 2017 stats, as you see on your screen as well. So Tremaine Edmunds, a guy that is firmly in the realistic category here for San Francisco. He's at number 5 on the big board. All right, let's go to number 6. Edge rusher, Harold Landry. So, obviously, he has explosiveness. There's no doubt about that. It showed in 2016, finished with 18 sacks, 7 quarterback hits, 44 hurries on only 322 rushes. Now, dealt with injuries in 2017, which slowed him down a bit. Drafting an edge rusher not named Bradley Chubb, I will continue to harp on this, is a reach. And so, yes, he's here at number 6. Again, I am projecting what I think the 49ers have on their list here. I still think edge rusher is more important than, say, cornerback or defensive back or safety or anything in that regard. So I do have Landry here, and I'm not, in the mind of John Lynch, so it's hard to say exactly what he's thinking. But having Harold Landry at 6, I feel good about. I also feel good about this guy here, Marcus Davenport at number 7. Good quickness, does struggle to seal the edge at times, but he's got an aggressive demeanor as a hitter, will unload with force from his hips, wraps up pretty well as well. He's a flash player, though, and that's my problem with him. You see him at one moment, and then he kind of disappears in another moment. So he's a little raw in that regard, and his consistency is a bit of an issue. But Davenport there at number 7. Look, if push comes to shove here, and the 49ers aren't tempted to trade back, perhaps they grab a Davenport or a Landry. I personally would not feel good about it, though. All right, let's go to the secondary now. Minkah Fitzpatrick at number 8. Maybe the argument is there that he should be higher. I get it. He is the ultimate do-it-all defensive back. Love him. Swiss Army knife kind of guy. Talked about him many times on this show, on the Cam Rogers show as well. You can put him there at safety, move him up in linebacker position, and utilize him in blitz packages. Slot corner as well. Really great kid, too. I've been watching some interviews featuring Minkah, and has just been so great with his demeanor, his attitude, and all that. So, look, I think he'd be a really fine option at number 9. Would I be jumping up for joy, per se? Probably not, because I do think there are bigger needs here, and I think trading back at this juncture, if Minkah is the top guy, probably is the better route, but still a fine player at that. And like I said, the secondary could use some depth. Speaking of secondary, here's Denzel Ward. I like him a lot. Now, I recently mocked him to those Raiders recently, but if he is there for San Francisco, I'll say this. He's a tempting pick. I mentioned the depth issue at corner. After K'Wan Williams at slot, there's not much there. And so Denzel Ward, I think, would be a really tempting option to perhaps be a future slot corner for San Francisco. Argument could be made. Maybe he has a future at outside corner. I'm not sure yet. I need to see how his footwork actually does at the NFL level. But from the college level perspective, really good footwork, and we'll see if that can kind of transfer over to the big leagues. And then finally at number 10, Derwin James, perhaps the best safety in the draft. Utilize him as a box safety, and man, he is dangerous. Had a monster 2017, 84 tackles, 5.5 tackles for loss, 1 sack, 2 interceptions, 11 passes defended, and 1 defensive touchdown. Named to the All-ACC first team, and was named to the All-America team by the Football Writers Association of America. How about that for a resume? Derwin James is certainly a name that you guys should kind of keep on your radar, low-key, not high-key, but he's there at number 10 on my projected big board for the 49ers. So let's summarize my list here. Quentin Nelson, Bradley Chubb, there's Saquon at 3, Roquan Smtih at 4, Tremaine Edmunds checks in at 5, and then Harold Landry, Marcus Davenport, not a big fan of these guys at 9, but we'll see. There's Minkah Fitzpatrick there, Denzel Ward, and Derwin James checking in at number 10. All right, I want to hear from you guys in comments. Who's your dream draft selection? We're talking about first round, wherever you think the 49ers will draft from. Maybe it's higher than 9. Maybe it's lower than 9. Let me know on Facebook Live as well as YouTube. Give me that name, and I'll be sure to track what you guys say. All right, folks, I'm Cam Rogers for the 49ers Report. Hit me up on Twitter at Mr. Rogers99. Take care, everybody.